In the summer of 2007, a young couple loaded their bags into the trunk of their car and hit the open road. It was supposed to be a trip filled with laughter, love, and memories to last a lifetime. But somewhere along the endless desert highway, they vanished. No calls, no messages, no cries for help, just silence. For years, their disappearance haunted their families, puzzled investigators, and became one of those stories whispered late at night. Unsolved, unsettling, and unfinished. But then, more than a decade later, a violent desert storm shifted the sands and unearthed a chilling secret. This is the story of two lives cut short, a mystery buried in the desert, and the heartbreaking truth revealed by the unforgiving winds. The story begins with Daniel and Emily, two college sweethearts from a small town. They were young, just in their 20s, full of energy and dreams. Friends described Daniel as adventurous, someone who loved exploring places few others dared to go. Emily, on the other hand, was the planner, the one who kept things grounded, but also the one who loved documenting every little moment with her camera. That summer, they had decided to take a road trip across the Southwest, a week of long highways, desert sunsets, and nights under the stars. They told their families they wanted to see the real America, not the cities, not the malls, but the wide-open roads where the sky seemed endless and the horizon stretched forever. They set out in Daniel's silver sedan, packed with a cooler, a tent, and maps dotted with roadside attractions and trails. Their last confirmed stop was a small diner off Highway 50, sometimes called the loneliest road in America. A waitress remembered them clearly, laughing over milkshakes, flipping through a paper map, marking out the next leg of their trip. The couple left around sundown, heading deeper into the desert. It was the last time anyone saw them alive. Later that night, Emily sent a short text to her sister. "Storm coming. We're pulling off the road for a bit." That message was the final trace. After that, silence. In the days that followed, Daniel's parents tried calling. Emily's friends sent messages, but nothing came through. Phones went straight to voicemail. Social media accounts stayed frozen. At first, no one panicked. Maybe they'd lost signal, maybe they'd decided to camp and unplug. But as the days stretched into a week, worry turned into dread. Something was terribly wrong. When the couple failed to return home on schedule, their families contacted authorities. A missing persons report was filed, and soon the desert became the focus of a massive search. Helicopters scanned the endless horizon. Deputies drove mile after mile along dirt roads. Volunteers walked with flashlights at night, calling out their names. But the desert is vast, empty, relentless. Days of searching turned into weeks. No car, no footprints, no evidence. Some began to wonder, had they decided to run away together, start fresh somewhere far from home? Others whispered darker theories. Was it foul play? A robbery gone wrong? Had someone picked them up from the roadside and silenced them forever? The local sheriff described it best. Looking for a single car out there is like looking for a needle in a mountain of needles. The desert doesn't give up its secrets easily. And while investigators chased every possible lead, one thing remained certain. Daniel and Emily were gone. Their families clung to hope, but each passing day without answers only deepened the agony. As months bled into years, the case grew colder. The couple's photos slowly came down from bulletin boards. Media attention shifted elsewhere. New tragedies replaced old ones in the headlines. But for their families, the pain never faded. Every birthday passed without them. Every holiday left an empty chair at the table. Emily's parents organized candlelight vigils, clinging to hope that maybe, just maybe, one day she'd walk back through the door. Daniel's brother retraced their planned route countless times, driving through the desert, staring out at the endless expanse of rock and sand, always asking the same question: where are they? A few private investigators took on the case over the years. They searched old mines, remote canyons, abandoned gas stations, but nothing ever surfaced. It was as if the desert had swallowed the couple. And in a way, it had. In 2019, more than a decade after the couple's disappearance, a powerful desert storm swept across the region. The winds howled at nearly 60 miles an hour. Sheets of rain carved through dry earth. Sand shifted, dunes collapsed, and areas untouched for years were suddenly reshaped. When the storm finally passed, a rancher checking his property noticed something strange along a dried-out wash. Something metallic, glinting faintly beneath the mud and sand. At first he thought it was just scrap, but as he got closer, he saw the outline of a car. Rusted, half-buried, but unmistakably a vehicle. Authorities were called immediately, and when the license plate was uncovered, hearts sank. It was Daniel's silver sedan. Inside, investigators found what no one wanted to believe: skeletal remains in the driver and passenger seats, still wearing fragments of clothing. Emily's camera was there too, its memory card long damaged by years of exposure. A few personal items remained: a backpack, a cracked phone, and faded maps still marked with their route. After 12 long years, the desert had finally given them back. Experts pieced together the most likely scenario. That night in 2007, when Emily texted her sister about the storm, the couple had likely pulled off onto a dirt track to wait it out. But the desert is treacherous. Flash floods can come without warning. It seemed their car was caught in a washout, a sudden rush of water and sand that buried them beneath the shifting landscape. Search teams in 2007 had combed the area, but the car laid just far enough off the main track and buried just deep enough that it remained invisible. The storm in 2019 had shifted the land once more, exposing what had been hidden for over a decade. For their families, the discovery was both heartbreaking and relieving. Finally, the questions had answers. Finally, the waiting was over. As Emily's mother said at the press conference, "For years we prayed for a miracle. We didn't get the one we hoped for, but at least we know now. At least we can bring them home." It was closure. Painful, but closure nonetheless. The story of Daniel and Emily is a reminder of how fragile life is, how quickly an adventure can turn into tragedy. The desert is beautiful, but it is also unforgiving. It hides secrets, swallows evidence, and keeps them until it chooses to release them. For 12 years, the desert kept Daniel and Emily, and then, one day, the storm returned them. Their story lingers, not just as a tale of loss, but as a reminder. When we step into the wild, we are at the mercy of forces far greater than ourselves. The desert never truly forgets. Sometimes it only hides the truth until the wind decides to reveal it again.